Good morning, people. Right, let's get back to it then. So we're carrying on with our case study on urban change in a major UK city. And last time we did a little bit looking at Liverpool, why it's important, and then we looked at the impacts of migration on Liverpool. So part of your job today, you're going to answer the exam question that's on the board or on the screen. Assess the extent to which migration into a major UK city has more positive impacts than negative impacts. So a 9-mark question. So little guide there for you. Introducing the case study first. Positive impacts, personally I'd aim for about 4. Negative impacts, aim for 3, maybe 4 if you've got time. And then a conclusion as well. So look back at the question. Have you said there are more positive impacts than negative? And look to include your opinion on this. Okay? So some of the impacts that you're talking about, what we looked at last time: hard-working, motivated workforce, improving the levels of skill where there are shortages, contributing to both the local and national economy through paying taxes, enriching the cultural life of the city, and mainly young migrants helping to balance an ageing population. So those were the positive impacts. Negative impacts, things like the challenge of integration into wider communities, providing education for children whose first language is not English, the pressures on housing and employment, and also racial tension. So those were your negative impacts. Like I said, go for 4 positives, maybe 3 negatives. Some of them you could probably link together in the negatives. So a bit of an example there of how to start it. You do not need to start it in this way. This is just to get you going. My case study is Liverpool in the northwest of England. Been lots of migration into the city which has created positive and negative impacts. In my opinion, I think there are more positive impacts of migration into Liverpool than negative. One important positive impact is migrants bring a hard-working and motivated workforce. This is good for companies because they can increase their production and make more money. Another positive impact is, and then that's where you could take over. The bit about, in my opinion, I think there are more positive impacts of migration into Liverpool than negative. That's probably going to end up being my conclusion at the end. Okay, so that's your first main job, to get that bit done. The next thing that we need to look at is we need to have a look at the urban change in Liverpool. So what are the changes, what's made these changes happen, and what opportunities they have created. So we'll look at opportunities today. Next week we will look at challenges. So what is the main urban change that's happened in Liverpool? Well, the main thing is the decline of the docks in the 1960s. So because of Liverpool's location on the coast, trade and docks had always been a major employer in Liverpool. But from the 1960s, the dockyards started to close. 350 factories started to close down. So there was large-scale unemployment and deprivation. So lots and lots of people lost their jobs, meaning lots and lots of deprivation, people not having enough money to feed themselves, which had a number of impacts. Lots and lots of people left Liverpool, especially the young, the skilled and the educated. And this is referred to as the brain drain. So young, educated people saw no future staying in Liverpool because there were no jobs. The docks had all closed, in which case they left and went to other towns and cities to try and find a job. Recently, there's been a lot of money spent on regenerating the city, in particular, redeveloping the docklands and the areas around the docklands. So the Albert Dock is now a huge tourist attraction. This in itself creates new employment opportunities, new social opportunities as well. And 2008, Liverpool was a European city of culture, which again attracted even more tourists, but also attracted even more investment. So I'm going to suggest you have a search on YouTube, search History of Liverpool Docks. The top video, it's about 6 minutes, will talk you through the decline of the docks and so on. Right, here's the main part of what we're looking at today then. So how has this change created opportunities in Liverpool? So what good things have come as a result? And like when we looked at the opportunities in Lagos, we're going to do social, economic and environmental. So the social opportunities. Albert Dock, as we mentioned, has been restored and developed. There's lots of new places for the locals to visit, so shops, bars, restaurants, museums. For example, the Beatles Story Museum's there, Liverpool Maritime Museum. There's also the Tate as well on the Albert Dock, the Tate Art Gallery. Liverpool Echo Arena has been built at King's Dock, which attracts world famous acts and sporting events. And the Liverpool One shopping complex was built in the city centre, which improves the facilities for shoppers, but it also helps to create a shopping destination. Around about 170 shops, creating a huge number of jobs, but also giving the local people opportunities. So, economic opportunities. Remember, when we've talked economic opportunities, we mean in money and jobs. So, lots and lots of employment opportunities in the new bars, the shops, the museums and the restaurants. So the urban change from the docks to more tourist-based industries has meant there are lots and lots of jobs created. Liverpool Echo Arena brings thousands of visitors each week to the city. Lots of these will spend money in hotels, in restaurants and shops, which has a positive knock-on effect for the local economy. If more money comes into the economy and people are earning more money, they can spend that money in the local economy, which again makes it stronger and stronger. There's also been Liverpool 2, a huge new container port which opened in 2016, and that allows lots and lots of large cargo ships to dock at Liverpool and has helped to secure and create jobs. So the urban change that's occurred has created lots and lots of jobs for the local people, but it's also had a knock-on effect for the local economy, because as people are getting more and more jobs, they're earning more and more money, they can spend more of that in the local area. And the very last thing that we're going to have a quick look at is the environmental opportunities. So this photograph here, this shows the Liverpool One development, and part of the environmental opportunities that we're going to talk about involve this. So what's happened? What have they done? City planners are actively trying to increase the amount of green space within Liverpool. Green space refers to parks and open land like that. So places for the people to use for recreation opportunities, but also green spaces help to reduce the amount of pollution. The Liverpool One complex includes a 5-acre park that's right in the middle of the city centre. We've just seen a picture of it and we'll put a picture of it on again. So this can be used for recreation, but again helps to reduce pollution. More cycle paths and bus lanes have been created, which encourages greener travelling. If you've got less cars on the road, there's going to be less air pollution. If people are cycling or using public transport or walking, then less pollution. And lastly, there's a lot of recycling bins in and around the city centre. So separate coloured bins mean that different products can be recycled. Again, if there's more material being recycled, it means that there is less waste building up and having to go into landfill. So photo as mentioned, you can see the park right there in the middle, an environmental opportunity. So that's a quick look there at how, or what the urban change is and how it's created social opportunities, so things for the people, how it's created economic opportunities, creating jobs, bringing money into the economy, and how it has created environmental opportunities. So if you have a look on ePraise now, that should tell you the next things that I would like you to do. Okay.